Hello, and welcome to my CS50 Introduction to Cybersecurity final project. My name is Bangla Manibadan. I'm calling it from Germany. My ADX username is mbangla, and you can find my GitHub at Eric Asjeff. I'm recording this on July 31st, 2025. Today, I'll be analyzing the Cleo MFT zero-day vulnerabilities discovered in December 2024. The incident centers around two critical zero-day vulnerabilities in Cleo's managed file transfer software. These are CVE2024-50623 with a CVSS score of 88 and CVE2024-55956 with a critical score of 98. I chose this incident for three compelling reasons. First, it is extremely current, discovered just several months ago, and still being actively exploited today. Second, it demonstrated supply chain security challenges when enterprise software gets compromised, affecting hundreds of companies. And finally, these vulnerabilities show classic security failure. What is Cleo MFT? Cleo provides managed file transfer solution for enterprise B2B. The main products include Cleo Harmony, Trader, and Lexicon. These systems handle sensitive data, and they are often deployed in network DMZs, both for internet connectivity and internal network access, making them extremely attractive targets. The discovery timeline. On December 8, 2024, Huntress Labs detected active exploitation before the vulnerability was even known. On December 10th, Cleo released an emergency advisory for CVE 2024-50623 involving unrestricted file uploads. On December 11th, the second critical vulnerability, CVE 2024-55956, was discovered, allowing unauthenticated command execution. And by January 2025, multiple ransomware groups had incorporated these exploits, demonstrating rapid weaponization. The first vulnerability, CVE 2024-50623, is a classic input validation failure. The vulnerability exists in Cleo's synchronization endpoint. The software fails to validate file paths. The second vulnerability, CVE 2024-55956, exploits the auto-run directive feature, demonstrating insecure default configurations. Cleo software automatically executes script file placed in the auto-run directory. The result, attackers can upload PowerShell or bash scripts that execute automatically with application service privilege. The attack methodology. The attackers chain this vulnerability in a multiple-stage attack. They scan for Cleo instance on port 50805443, and they exploit the first vulnerability to upload malicious scripts. They leverage the second vulnerability to trigger automatic execution through auto-run functionality. And finally, they deploy ransomware data exfiltration tools or backdoors. Over 1,000 vulnerable Cleo instances are exposed to the internet, with exploitation often occurring within 72 hours. Root cause analysis revealed insufficient input validation and failure to prevent path traversal attacks, insecure default auto-run configuration, and critical endpoints accessible without authentication. And from a secure development lifecycle perspective, inadequate threat modeling, insufficient security testing of defaults, missing code review for path sanitization, and inadequate penetration testing. The incidents demonstrate interconnected cybersecurity concepts. Under secure software, input validation failure. For secure software, MFT system as attack vector bypass network segmentation, privilege escalation. And for securing data, file transfer system become exfiltration points, compromise data integrities. It shows how software security failures cascades into system compromise and data breaches. Prevention recommendation. Prevention strategy includes strict input validation with path sanitization, secure by default principle disabling, dangerous feature like autorun, authentication for all file operation and minimal service privilege. Organizations should implement network segmentation, isolating MFT systems. Proper path validation, normalize path. Check level control including web application, firewall, blocking path traversal, application sandboxing, restrictive file permission, and runtime application self-protection tools. This represents multi defense layers. Lesson learned. Critical lessons have been learned, like supply chain security that is paramount, enterprise software vulnerability that affect thousands of organizations simultaneously, zero-day response that are accelerated, threat actor weaponize vulnerability within hours. And we have learned also that default configuration risk cannot be underestimated. NGC response. CISA have added buff CVEs to known exploited vulnerabilities with 40 days pathing requirement for federal agency. And we saw Joint Advisory warned the private sector. Cleo released emergency path within 48 hours, disabled auto-run by default, and implemented additional authentication. Key takeaway. This case demonstrated that supply chain attacks targeting enterprise software are increasing. Zero-day weaponization is extremely rapid, and file transfer system require special security attention. Insecure default creates systemic risk across software ecosystem. It illustrates the intersection of securing software system and data, showing how failure cascades across all areas. Thank you for your attention. I've analyzed the Cleo MFT zero-day vulnerabilities, demonstrating how critical software security failure enable widespread exploitation. Thank you.